Well, I want to get this video out here because it's some information I had a hard time finding, and I didn't see any video produced on YouTube about this specifically. I was looking about changing out the hydraulic lifters on my 1989 Sportster. Maybe I don't need to do that because I saw a video on YouTube where a guy has a Sportster with 278,000 miles. Very interesting if you want to look that up. It's got over 10 gallons of fuel capacity on it, and a couple GPSs, radar detector, locator, and all that garbage. Pretty interesting that the bike went that far. Maybe I'm overthinking this situation, but I have heard that, you should change the lifters on a Harley probably at about 50,000 miles. And some of the stuff I got on YouTube was pretty damn interesting because I have not known where, some of the parts are coming from. And it's good if you're looking at the real players, the real YouTubers that give you the information. Maybe the salespeople won't, but people actually work on these bikes. They'll give you the real information. One of the guys on one of the videos, I was looking around for this information for a long time, like how many, about the adjustable push rods. How many turns do you have to get it to make the adjustment of the plunger on this lifter go right smack in the middle? It's like 100 thousandths usually to get it right smack in the middle. So different companies of adjustable push rods have different threads per inch. So here, if you're looking at, a lot of them here, they're telling you like they're 32 threads per inch. So that actually is 3 turns or 3.2 turns to put you at 100 thousandths. 3 turns is, very close to where you really need to be because it's in a hydraulic adjuster. So in the case of this one, 24 threads per inch, that'd be 2.4 turns or 2.5 turns to get it smack in the middle. And this procedure is outlined in, I'm not going to make the video, and I'll probably make the video when I go to do this at whatever time in the future, but I'm familiar with what to do. But here's a great YouTube channel, Death Proof Productions. This guy's a professional Harley mechanic, and he's telling you about installing adjustable push rods, and that's most of the procedure of how you would change out your tappets. You could pull out the tappets, pump them up with oil, and install them. And then what you'd have to do to seat the adjustable push rods. But the part I didn't know was this, and I was trying to do it from memory. Come to think of it, I'm not sure if I got RevTech. I got RevTech, yeah, RevTech valve springs and RevTech push rods. I remember it's like 3 turns or 3.5, so it's 3.6 turns exactly, 3.5 turns. That would be this number on the bottom right here. So that's good to know. I'm probably going to get some of these fueling or S&S. They're very expensive compared to the stock ones. But, as somebody else pointed out, like a real YouTuber pointed out, it was a mechanic for, I guess, Harley Davidson or a bike mechanic. He says there's only 2 lifter manufacturers in the world. There's one in China, one in the USA. A lot of the ones that are sold made in the USA, they're not really made in the USA. They might change out this little spring clip in the middle here, and then they say, well, now it's manufactured in the United States because we change out this spring clip, put it in a box, it's made in USA. But the reason the ones made in the USA are more money is because they're made out of machined steel. This part is one of these, there's a lot of things that can actually break on a bike, if you overthink it too much, but this is one of those things, if you got about 50,000 miles or so, you probably should change the lifters, and probably worthwhile to put, better stuff in it. So, but, like I said, the part I had a hard time finding is, what the specifications were. And this is good information. This is very good information. You can see that it varies from 2.5 turns to 4 turns you get it right, where you're putting that plunger on a pumped up lifter right smack in the middle. So it's got to go down. You pump up the lifter, you install it, you take up all the play out of the push rod. I'm not gonna, the other video I showed there, like from Death Proof Productions, he'll explain that. But then once you take up all the play, when the cam is on, the nut on the lobe side, but it's, you're not showing any lift on the cam. When you take up all the play, you gotta bring it down, the plunger down about 100 thousandths to put it smack right in the middle of the lifter. So having these different push rods, adjustable push rods, are made with different threads. Some are finer, some are coarser. So, like the case of Jim's Pro Light, that's 24 threads per inch, so that would be about 2.5 turns. Most of them are about 3 turns. Andrews is just about, either one, I guess, because 2.8 turns, 3.2 turns, 3 turns. In the case here, we see this one is 2.5 turns, and down here at Rivera Taper Light, that's 4 turns. So, but the other way you could tell is if you put the push rod on a dial indicator and you measured the number of turns to see what it moved to 100 thousandths, that'll tell you the threads per inch too. But this was some good information. I just couldn't see it anywhere. Hopefully I can set this up so that people can find this information if you're looking for it. It's not a how-to video, but this was a gem. This was a gem and a half. I'm going to keep this information because I need to refer to it. I'm going to double check my stuff though before I go install these. But the bikes should really. Well, the thing is, as somebody pointed out, the bikes, if you made them that damn good, as a matter of fact, Harley Davidson's Evos and stuff were so damn good that it's like the aftermarket was selling stuff better than the bikes. You didn't have to buy it, the better parts for less money. It was kind of hurting the sale of new Harleys. So you make it too good, the people are going to own the bike for 50 years and you're never going to sell them a new one, right? I personally think Harley Davidson ought to take the the old Volkswagen Beetle way of doing things. Just keep it the same and just improve upon it. So if every bike should have S&S or fueling push tappets. There should be adjustable push rods. There should be the rocker boxes and the rocker arms. There should be like little rollers on the end of the rockers where they touch the valves. All the valves should be the best titanium nitrated stainless steel. Just keep adding an improvement to the same bike. Because we turn into a consumeristic society, and it's like I'm really, I'd rather have a 1953 Ford than a 2023 brand new car. As long as the 53 Ford was like new, I'd rather have that. To tell you the truth, way better. But still, the Harley still can freaking go a lot of miles. This 278,000 miles. I mean, that's absolutely tremendous. So anyway, but getting back, this was the thing I was looking for, and I was like, and I did remember it right. I remember it was about 3.5 turns. The bike was redone back in 1992. It was done in San Marcos, California. Put the S&S rods in it, balanced for high RPM. They did that 58% balancing, whatever the hell that is. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but I know if it's stock, it's 53%. If high RPM, it's 58%. They did that. Put the Andrews V4 cams in there. The Baisley valves did some head work and stuff. And nothing tremendous, but it's a really good bike the way I like it. It's like, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. Somebody else will say that's no good, but I'm fine with it as long as I'm cool with it, And I'm just trying to look for this information. It's just amazing what's out there. And This was tough to find, man. This was tough to find. But you can see most cases, it's 32, threads per inch. So that puts it at 3 turns. And 28 threads per inch. I mean, you could say that's 3 turns. It's 2.8 turns if you want to put it exactly. But it's a hydraulic system, so if you're off like a tenth of a turn, I mean, it's not something that's that crazy accurate. I mean, you're trying to put the plunger in the push rod like this, where it presses in here like this. You want to get it like pretty much right in the center, which is to be about 100 thousandths down. So there's like to put it right in the center. So, but I don't know. My theory is you keep the same bike and you just keep improving it, whatever, because if you keep buying a new one, you're going to wind up dealing with issues that they created. Because I swear it's like planned obsolescence everywhere. So if you can make it, but with Harley, you got the aftermarket is what takes care of the bike. It's not like it's not like a lot of these cars, unless it's a real classic car. It might be impossible to find parts, but with Harley Davidson, the aftermarket is big. It's huge. So if you got an old bike, you can always, resurrect it or just keep it going forever. But sometimes some of these things, like the tappets, the hydraulic lifters, tappets or lifters, you want to call them. People refer to them as tappets because they could make a tapping noise, maybe. But that's one of the things. If they would install these type of ones in the beginning, I don't think they would ever wear out in a million years unless you were starved for oil. But they don't do everything the very best from the factory. They pretty much, they make it good enough to get through the warranty. I know that, but that's why I'm like, I still got my 78 El Camino, I got my 85 4x4, and I got my 89 Harley Sportster. So that's the way I roll. Anyway, over and out. Hopefully this information will give you some. I'm trying to title this something so that people can find it, because this was tough to find. I had a hard time finding this, man. I'll tell you the truth.